Shalom. Call Halaimla Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And a sincere shalom to the 144,001 Now, if you see on this chart I got pulled up, this data, this is hedge funds and the Wall Street hedge funds. YTD's year to date, okay, and their returnings. And as you can see, they got cooked March this year. And year to date, maybe a third of them are negative. And this has largely been done because of Donald Trump in his second term, bringing in uncertainty and volatility because of his chaos. You see, the wicked, these Edomites, they're not all together, all right? They're divided. You know, the game theory that I seen being spread around about how the Silicon Valley younger Edomites with their AI and stuff are trying to bring in a new era. And then you have the older Edomites, the Wall Street types that are trying to stay in the era that they created. Okay? So what that's leading to is the collapse of what we've all known, right? The dollar, the fiat currency, physical cash, that's the old money. And the new money is that MOTB, the CBDC, the crypto coins, which the Silicon Valley Edomites, billionaires and whatnot are trying to bring in. Now, of course, you got the elites in the corner that are trillionaires and beyond that control the banks and whatnot, that ultimately are the ones that want this digital currency, that want the C-HIP, all right, the Karagma. And these hedge funds, as you see, that which represents the keepers of the house, these hedge funds, these brokers, these LPs, liquidity providers, and these banks, okay, they're all, of course, the ultimate is the central bank, all right? They all provide, and by the way, the central banks is what Rothschilds and all these other super elite families, they brought those central banks in. And guess who doesn't have a central bank? Iran. Let's get this right here. This is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened, and the doors shall be shut up in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up as the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. So guess what? The Most High Yahweh is going to bring about a collapse of this society. These hedge funds going to get cooked. These banks are going to get cooked. These central banks, everything is going to crash. And during that crash, they're going to bring in that MOTB. Okay, they're going to bring in the C-HIP, because that's this devil's goal, is to turn everybody into these cyborg slaves. All right, let's get that Ezekiel 33 and 33. And it reads, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Yeah, it's being spoken that all these things are gonna happen, because that's what the Most High Yahweh. See, that's Yahweh's chip. This is all Yahweh's plan to bring about an end of this society. Yahweh built these devils system up, and he's going to be the one to take it down, and he's going to use his elect to do it. Starting with Yahweh Shah. This is Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, which represents the economy, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. So that's going into economic collapse. The stock market, crypto, commodities. Well, gold is going to skyrocket, silver, okay? So commodities will always have value, right? Oil, gold, silver, land, animals. Those will all have value, but those commodities, all right, even though they have value, if society is going to hell in a handbasket, then those commodities don't matter, right? What's going to matter is food, water, shelter, and the means to protect it. That's what's going to matter. Okay? And you got all these, look at these hedge funds. These are the keepers of the house. Look at them. They're getting cooked. Only what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 of them are in profit in March. And the other ones are either break even or in the negative. And the year to date, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold on. Let me restart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. 10 of these hedge funds are year to date negative. So that's like at least a third of what you see on here. Maybe even a little bit more than a third. Maybe even half. Or around there. Just about half of these hedge funds on this list is in the negative. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better for these. You best believe almost all these hedge funds you see are ran by Edomites. Especially the tiny tops. All right? You best believe you got these tiny tops. These are tiny top funds. Okay? Babylon, in Babylon. In Wall Street, by the way. Wall Street. Let's get this right here. This is Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So yeah, these devils, okay, they're not perfectly aligned. Of course, they want to control humanity. But there's power struggles, just like with Greece and Rome. Especially Rome, right? Because this is Rome all over again. The UN, EU, I should say, the beast, the EU, which brought about the UN and NATO and so on and so forth. This is just Rome all over again. Edomite rulership, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Europe. This is Rome. So guess what? What happened with Rome? You had people fighting for power. You had people that wanted to take over. They wanted to be more higher status, more higher control. You don't think it's the same thing happening now? It absolutely is. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. And getting better is when Yahweh Shai returns and establish the righteous kingdom forever. Because we're under the rule of these devils. How do we know we're under the rule of the wicked? Let's get this. This is Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So if you look at humanity, right? The whole world, because the whole world is connected. you know, society, Brazil, Canada, Germany, South Africa, Congo, China, Taiwan, all right, the UAE, Qatar, all these countries are connected, especially by that dollar system, right? So are people mourning or rejoicing? They're mourning. Humanity as a collective is mourning, not rejoicing. So that what does that mean? That means the wicked are in authority. The so-called white man is in authority, and he's the Edomites, and the Edomites are the wicked. And guess what? All this that they established, Esau put in work. Esau put in work to get this society to where he wants it. He grinded. And guess what? It's going to be all stripped away from him. It's all going to be stripped away from him. So with that, shalom.